Cool.
And then, of course, some of the spells also can heal you a little bit. Although the only one I have right now is that annoying one that just creates a little puddle where you cast it that you have to stay in if you want the healing.
Does the game have like the same kind of like we're talking about Neo? Does the game have like the well, what's the NPC situation like? Because Dark Souls has a very specific kind of like paradigm for its NPCs where they're all going kind of crazy. Is Neo kind of like that?
No, they're definitely not going. I mean, these are like Japanese historical figures, or at least they're fictional allies. Like Hanzo Hattori is like the first major character you meet, and he doesn't seem to be going crazy. He's just, he's acting kind of in his role. Though I think he was actually a semi-fictional character himself.
Yes.
Rather than being an actual.
I want to say he's like quasi-legendary, if I'm remembering correctly.
Right, but there are definitely references to people who were real, like Nobunaga, Tokugawa,
cool,
and some of the other warlords.
Cool. Did you ever read Shogun by James Clavell?
I don't think I did.
Oh man, I should give you a copy of Shogun by James Clavell. I really liked it. It's a fictionalized, it's just like Neo, it's a fictionalized telling of the story of William, whatever his name is, the sailor that was the white guy that washed ashore and became like one of the first non-Japanese samurai.
I don't remember his last name, and even though I'm playing Nico,
yeah,
I don't know if they've just not said it or I missed it.
It's pretty good. I like it. Squeaky says, here's 6 minutes and 29 seconds of cute otters and ferrets.
Awesome. Thank you.
I guess I'll just watch this instead of talking to you.
Oh. I can't even see them.
You need like one of those intelligent... Oh, that's cute. Oh, they're squeaking. Polo, what was that noise? Oh, these are so good. And it's just a little secret just for me and Squeaky. Oh man, you're missing out. Oh? Aw. That's pretty good. Are you still here? Oh man, how have you not gone out and bought an iPhone 73 in order to view this spectacular footage?
Even as awesome as otters and ferrets are, I would not buy an iPhone just to watch them.
That's fair, that's fair, that's fair. I understand that fear of the future, that understanding that times have changed and that things are different, and that you don't want to play Candy Crush and flight control.
Really the reason, but it's part of it.
What is your reason for not partaking in the smartphone revolution started by Steve the Jobs?
It's too much of an electronic leash. It feels like people get tugged on and they immediately check their phone.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
And I was like, I want no part of that. I have enough crap to do with already.
Yeah, that's an absolutely fair point. If this was taken from me, it would be as though I was a limbless man. It would be as if I had 0 limbs. I would just be like...
You'd be like Polo is right now.
No, Polo has limbs.
Yeah, but he's not using
They're so good. Look at his little tail going. He doesn't need a phone. He's got that tail.
Limb? I mean, it's not really useful for
I mean, if you put a gun to my head, I would say no.
Okay.
But is a tail a limb? Limb anatomy on Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia, says if everyone donated now, this fundraiser would be over. Well, guess what? We're not going to learn anything because despite the fact that I look at this thing literally hundreds of times a day, I'm not going to give them any money. Anyway, support us on PayPal.com. No, don't do that. Don't support us. Support freedom. Well, if you're not going to go out and get a cell phone, then perhaps we should just stay here and play with the rotary phone game, Dungeons and Dragons. What's going on?
I'm looking for Antoria.
Oh, Antoria. He's in Urik, the city of lions.
Oh, here he is. I found him.
You did. You found him.
Yeah.
But what on earth is he doing there? Give us just a quick little rundown of what on earth that good boy is doing in such a scary city.
Well, short version is, Antoria grew up an orphan, didn't know who his parents were. He, some considerable number of sessions ago, found out through a chance encounter a lead on his mom, and that she was in Urik. With some help from his friends, he got a little more information, decided to go see her and see if he could meet her and maybe even find out something about his dad too. He got to Urik, he got to meet Mom, yay.
Yes.
Got to find out who Dad was, yay. Yep. Dad got killed, no.
Oh.
So now he's investigating the murder of his father, hoping through that maybe to learn a little bit more about his father, since when he tried to go to his father's house, which was a very fancy noble house, Antoria wasn't terribly welcome there, it seemed. Which I guess makes sense if he's an unacknowledged and illegitimate child.
Something like that, yeah.
That's the last person they probably want showing up and asking around, especially right after a murder.
Literally the last person.
Yeah. Well, that's how it goes.
Yep, that is exactly how I would expect Antoria to have taken care of the situation.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, and his mom died too.
His mom has passed away, having left some small inheritance for him in the form of
a fancy robe of walk-by Templars.
A little bit of a fashion upgrade. But we resume the next morning, sort of mid-morning, as you're coming back into the city.
All right.
What's on Antoria's agenda here?
Well, he hasn't had much luck investigating so far. I mean, he's figured out that there was some group that his father was involved with, or at least trying to become involved with, or hanging around. It's actually kind of vague what his involvement was. He just apparently stood outside their headquarters for a long time and then got eaten by a ghost. Well, not eaten, but torn apart quite literally.
Quite literally, head and arm missing.
The two leads he's thinking about that he might investigate are, he might go ask the constitutional barkeeper, as I can only think of him, more about this little movement he was talking about.
He loves his country.
Just wants to change it a little. And maybe find out more about those gladiators who are being mean to the urchin who gave him some information earlier.
Yeah, that's fair.
And seemed to be
monster.
No kidding. Anyway,
yeah.
Trying not to be distracted. So yeah, I guess he will head back towards the tavern where he met the constitutional barkeep before.
Yes, absolutely. Bucket, yes. The barkeep at the Champion's Trough, I believe.
Okay.
Sure. Give me a perception check, I guess.
Okay.
Actually, here, I'll tell you what. Before you do that, would you let Polo out the sliding glass door?
Yes.
I'll stay here and assure Squeaky that no, your mom is not dead. You're fine. Everything's fine here.
Can I shut the door?
Yes, please. Otherwise, so many bugs will come in.
Ah, true. Fair enough.
100 bugs every minute.
Alright.
Yes, indeed. Give me a perception check now that you've returned.
Alright. 20.
20. What a good roll. Making your way back, you are treading. You have to tread a little ways.
Which way did
No, actually, you've come out on the exact opposite side of the gates, the slave gates.
over here.
Yeah, believe it or not, the slave gate is over on the other side of the Templar district and the noble district, the high district, such as it is.
Alright.
But on your way back, you're trudging your way through the high district, and actually you spot the major domo that was giving you such a hard time, surreptitiously following you from what he perceives to be a comfortable distance. You get the idea that maybe he's never tailed someone before, and so he's basically doing everything possible to make sure that he's seen. Like,
I get it.
pulls out a newspaper with like a slit.
Alright. I think I know how distant is he following?
Maybe like 30 feet, something like that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I will keep an eye out for...
Lightning bolt.
No, I don't even have that memorized.
Who would?
Because this is Urik. However, let's see. What time
Just really quick. You are dressed still in your nicer outfit?
Yep.
Okay.
Nice outfit mode.
Otherwise, you might not have recognized you.
True. Let's see. try and find a less occupied part of town to lead him into. It doesn't have to be like super less occupied. What I'm trying to do is find a place where I could quickly and discreetly get off a message spell without having eyes on me.
Sure. Give me a survival check.
Survival, sure.
Oh.
10.
10, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, you spot an alleyway, and it's not necessarily completely covered, but it's an alleyway, and you're not sure how much further you might go until you find a better one.
I see, and he's still following me, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Well, to try and help myself further, I will go into the alleyway a little bit, not too far, kind of like I'm just almost stepping in, and then I will act as if I dropped something, and while I'm kneeling on the ground, you know, presumably picking it up, that's when I will do the required gesturing for message as I try to hide it. Presuming, of course, that I'm not looking down the alley and there's like a couple of beggars in there or something.
No, it's good and abandoned as any good alleyway would be.
Perfect. Then I will try in the prescribed method to hide casting message.
Yes, give me a sleight of hand.
And that is reasonable. 19.
Very well. So far as you can tell, no one's cried out witch.
that's a relief.
Yep.
A message will appear in the Major Domo's mind, and it simply says, "Not very good at this following people thing, are you?" And I'm very clearly making it my voice. You know, I think message is your own voice anyway.
Sure.
And he can respond if he wants to by the same method.
You hear sort of a large, startled gasp in your mind from the message spell.
Alright. I will come out of the alleyway. I will stop and kind of lean against the wall. And I will look at him and make a direct gesture. Kind of like this.
Student of the way. You're more talented than I thought. Perhaps you can be of some use.
That's my hope anyway. Assuming, of course, you're referring to finding out what happened to your master.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. Just Antoria just chilling out with a chocolate milkshake. Just enjoying his time. Just playing it cool, like a cool dude.
You're kidding. Urik doesn't have chocolate milkshakes with chocolate.
They have plain, not vanilla, just plain milk.
It's not even treated.
My goodness. Yes, well, things have been getting a little strange around here. Little stranger still, even than I would have thought with such a lord struck down in so foul a manner, as I was saying to you. But well, I heard from a friend of mine at the temple, you know, where the bodies are kept before they're interred, that just last night they had another body brought in.
Another?
Yes. I mean, this sort of thing has happened before, but never so quickly, I don't imagine. Some of peculiar consequence, I think. Some gladiator or something like that. Very strange, very strange.
Gladiator, but that... And Antoria will describe the gladiators that he saw, you know, over at the end. But at the end, say, do any of you sound like the gentleman?
Oh yeah, that cock. That was him. Big, spiky, ostentatious armor. Yeah, that's him.
I saw him yesterday. He seemed to be bullying an urchin who had told me some of what he had seen the night of your lord's murder.
Well,
I thought
slave ought to know his place, I figure. But it sounds like this one got what was coming to him. His stomach was ripped out.
His stomach?
Yes, indeed. Very strange, very strange.
That's more than a little strange. I mean, by his earlier actions of attacking the urchin, it almost seemed like he was trying to protect the ghost or something. But
well,
now he seems to have been a victim himself of something else.
Haven't met too many ghosts myself, but I would figure that a ghost doesn't need too much protecting. After all, by its very definition, it is already dead.
To be honest, I'm not sure I'm buying this whole ghost angle yet anyway.
Nor I. The way I figure it, there's something strange mucking about, and Well, you've got your own reasons for being here, but you're the only other one that's shown that much interest in what on earth is going on here. And as I suspected, it seems you have some talents you haven't quite revealed anyway, so I figured, well, why not? I'll find the son of a bitch and see what he thinks.
Yeah, well, that's one way of putting it, but I certainly would be glad to have some assistance. I have not been in Urik in a long time.
Well?
There is something else I wanted to ask you about, actually.
Oh, what's so?
How much do you know about why your master was in that part of town to begin with?
Give me a social check of some kind.
Alright. I will attempt persuasion, and as part of the persuasion, I will actually tell him what what Antoria learned from Bucket.
About his behavior?
About his behavior, and also what he learned from the urchin whose name I'm totally blanking. Dieter. What he learned from Dieter about his movements in that part of town. Natural 20.
Natural 20.
Which is a 19.
Hog looks a little sort of crestfallen. To be honest, it's quite irregular. It's not the sort of thing that Lord Soren would have behaved with. I mean, the idea that he had a mistress somewhere or something like that is not unheard of. So far as I know, he was a pretty loyal man, but a man in his position, if he had secrets, he had them brought to his estate. What's the point in him going sneaking around with no bodyguard or anything like that?
For that matter, according to the urchin's account, and correct me if I'm wrong, he just stood outside for a considerable length of time waiting, out in the open.
At night, though.
Does that match the urchin's account?
Yes, it was at night.
Yes, at night. In the worst part, one of the worst parts of town.
Could be eavesdropping like, but why not send someone else to do it? Just listening in, no point in doing it himself.
Unless, of course, he was using the way. Not everyone could do that.
I know my master quite well, and he was not a student of the mind. Certainly not.
Insight check to see if he's hiding knowledge of him being arcanist.
Sure.
6. Okay. Yes, I suppose after your long service you would know.
Oh, certainly. No one knew him better than me. Well, so I thought. Now he's dead.
Dead in a strange place doing strange things.
Worst way to go, really.
Had he ever gone to that part of town before that you know of?
Not in such a manner, no. I mean, Lord of Urik goes wherever he likes. If he was liable to go anywhere, I mean, he'd be... well, it's been a long time, really, but there was a time that he had a great interest in the astromancy that the servants of the Lion of Urik so partake, in the towers outside of town, studying the stars, whatnot, predicting things.
Of course.
It was never more than a hobby, though, so it's been quite some time, ever since, he inherited the estate and started administrating things properly. But when he was younger, free to do as he liked, went out to the towers and visited all the time.
Interesting.
Listen, I've got some things to do. I need to make some confirmations with the Templars to make sure that the funeral proceeds as planned. If you want to visit and pay your respects, or I don't know, see if you can suss out any sorts of clues, I'll send word to have you let in. Don't go mention being next to kin or anything like that. Don't be daft.
I'm not exactly used to moving in noble circles. Forgive me if I'm a bit overly direct at times.
Apology accepted, but
I will
take my word for it. Just, keep that under wraps if it is indeed true.
As you say, it will be kept under wraps.
Yes. You know where the temple is, I expect.
Where is the temple?
Searching your recollection, you recall that it is actually directly connected to the old district, which is that northernmost one. So heading west into there, yeah, that's it. That's the Temple of the Lion God.
Okay, Temple of the Lion God.
Yep.
Alright. Did he react when I told him about the interesting constitutional theories of our
Oh, I didn't know you'd revealed that.
Oh, yeah, he also, it was he believed it to be part of the reason his master was there, was looking into that group.
No particular reaction. I mean, whatever it may have been said, it's a common folk bartender. What should he care about it?
Fair enough. Well, thank you. I'll do everything I can to find out what happened.
Well, if you need me, send word to the estate. And be subtle. Come around the side entrance, perhaps?
I'll try to do a little better.
Yeah. Say you've got a delivery of some kind.
Doing this. Alright.
Well, maybe a nicely dressed servant. Certainly smell like one.
Fair enough.
No, I mean it. You need a bath.
I'll see what I can do.
Go on.
Thank you.
Carries on his way.
So, question here. I didn't want to take it up at the time. Astromancy. Is this something like the Miss Cleo psychic hotline in terms of Antoria's belief about it, or is it actually a real thing?
Well... I dare say that it's the sort of thing that certainly citizens of Urik believe that Hamanu places trust, not trust necessarily, but possesses the secret knowledge to read the stars and see the future, and that's part of what makes him king. The Veiled Alliance believes that part of this is just sort of a screen to get defilers into positions where they might otherwise have been able to get into, so that people can use their magic in the king's name and people can write it off as, well, they're working for the king as a astromancer of some kind or something like that. It's clearly just defiling magic or something like that. Burn him at the stake.
I see.
That said, the Veiled Alliance doesn't necessarily not think that there's value in the predictions of the stars or anything like that. One of the things about the Veiled Alliance is, like you've seen in Balik, the people that make up the Veiled Alliance are still citizens of wherever it is that they are. So, I mean, to a certain degree, a lot of them believe, Hamanu is a god and he can read the patterns of the stars, obviously. Praise the lion.
Maybe not that far.
I mean, he's destroying the world, but praise him. What are you going to do? Not praise him? That's a mistake.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Alright, well, you can add to the possible investigations list going out into those towers and seeing what's what, although it sounds like that was a long time ago and not necessarily recent. So
Yeah.
that's probably bottom of the list at the moment. The gladiator being dead certainly cuts one of the avenues out of investigation out, at least for talking to them. I guess I'll go back to the tavern bucket keeps and see if I can find out anything about the gladiator who got his stomach ripped out.
Sure. You're, so far as you can tell, not followed or further harassed on your way back to the old district. And find the Champion's Trough to be a more somber place than you found it yesterday, having now been the site of 2 discovered bodies. Everyone's in sort of a grim state, and no one pays you much attention as you come in.
Alright, I'll take a seat at the bar approximately close to Bucket, if
Sure.
possible.
After a little while, Bucket comes over. Morning.
More wine, please.
Right.
Thank you. And you'll slide over 1 silver more than it would cost. So how much does it normally cost here?
3.
3. Then you'll slide over 4.
What did I say? Slides the 1 back over.
Right. Sorry, old habits. I've been among merchants often. You know how they are.
Crooks. Every single one of them.
I would love to argue with you on the point, but even I can't make that case. What happened here? Everyone... It's even worse than yesterday.
Well. Gone. That fellow that was given deed of the business yesterday.
I caught the end of it. The yellow cloaks broke it up just as I saw it.
Ghost got him.
Again?
Well, Ghost got him once.
Oh, sorry, I meant... Does the ghost usually strike that often? I didn't think it...
Not one to be able to predict the movements of ghosts all too much, but no, usually we get a few months in between.
Not even a few days this time. What was he giving Dieter trouble over anyway?
Couldn't tell you, but the kid's real laid up. First time, he simply saw it happen. This time, though, I think the ghost came on as Gon was talking to the kid. Haven't seen him all day.
Talking to him. If you don't mind me asking, who was the gladiator? I'd never met him before.
Gon was, a braggart of sorts. Talked a lot about might of the city, which certainly we all do, but he was real noisy about, we should go take over Tyre, and we should go take over Nibene, and such and such and such. I've never seen Tyre, I've never seen Nibene, and certainly we could take him in a fight. I've got no interest in doing whatever it takes to administer over them. We've got all kinds of issues right here at home. I mean, Haman is going to take everything in its rightful order. Gon was real loud now. He was saying, we should go do this, should go do that, that sort of thing. He and his cronies real, braggarts, I suppose you'd call them.
Have his cronies been seen since his murder?
Oh yeah, they're sitting right over there, drinking their guts out. Sure enough, there are some brawny little cronies, sort of half drunk, half weeping into their cups.
How many are there?
3.
3. Alright.
Poor kid, though. Talked to him crack of dawn this morning as he was headed home. Said he saw the fire in Gon's eyes.
Fire in eyes. Arcane check to recognize that symptom?
Sure.
Definitely sounds sordid magic-y. Natural 1.
Natural 1.
Clearly he cast a fire eyes spell.
It was probably the dragon. No, you search your recollection, you've never heard of such behavior.
Fire in his eyes.
It's what we've always heard. Ghost comes on to a person, haunts them, you know. They'll be talking about something, eating, working, then suddenly, just a dark flame, they go quiet. And then just leave and go off and do whatever it is that they're going to do.
Interesting. And not saying this to the bucket, but that in Antoria's mind, that seems to connect perhaps why our Lord Soren was out here by himself, just standing around before he was murdered, just to let you know where I'm thinking of things.
Sure.
Interesting.
It's not everything about it's queer. It shouldn't, a lot of people get visited 3 or 4 times or something like that. There's time to worry. They wake up and they don't know where they've been or why they've been. Their friends and family are worried about them because they know that one day they're going to die. One day they're going to wake up and their foot's missing and their throat ripped out. But never, on the same night. God didn't have any time to put his affairs in order or nothing. Seems quite unfair as ghosts go. Quite unfair.
It's strange that it would change its behavior.
Quite strange, quite strange.
Something else must have changed. But what? Random DM rolling. I see. Well, what are those fellas drinking over there? He motions to the flunkies.
Broy.
Roy?
I mean, hell, everyone here drinks broy except for you. The fact that I've still got the 1 bottle of wine is nothing short of miraculous.
Sorry. Give me a picture of Broy then, please.
2 silver.
Slides over exactly 2. He visibly stops himself from a 3rd one, but kind of nods and says, I'm remembering now.
Bucket will remember that.
Alright.
There you go.
Thank you.
I assume you dump it on their heads.
No.
Oh.
Antoria wanders over to the table, sets the pitcher down. Warrior fell. I honor him so. May I join you?
Plenty of bars in the noble district, Gov.
Sorry, I mishap, probably on purpose. A translate check?
I mean, that was just a growl.
Oh, I mean, on the rest of it.
Grabs the pitcher.
Ah,
Give me a perception check.
sure.
Or insight, as you prefer.
Insight's a lot. No, actually, they're both exactly the same. Yes,
Sure.
they are. 13.
They look none too impressed with your fancy duds.
I know I'm not the sort who usually comes around here, but your friend is not the only one who was killed by the ghost. One of mine was also killed. I'd like to find out why, how it happened, and put a stop to it. Surely that's something that interests the three of you. You just poured it out?
On your head if you didn't dodge.
Oh, he dodged. If he had any opportunity to dodge, he
Give
would
me a
dodge.
dex check.
He didn't look like he was pouring it that fast. Alright.
I mean, it won't be hard one.
12.
12, you're able to sidestep nimbly away.
As you will. Solve it myself. Antoria leaves.
Goodbye. Give me another perception check.
Sure. That is a 13.
13. As you are leaving, as you walk out into the noonday street, you see something strange in the road ahead of you. There's a little bit of the sand and dust and clay. Seems to be wobbling.
As if mage-handed, perhaps? Or telekinetically?
Perhaps, yes.
Alright. Antoria will...
It's almost as if like maybe there's like a flat stone that makes up like the walkway or something like that that is like kind of tilting back and forth a little bit.
Antoria will walk over to it. It's still tilting back and forth?
Yep.
Alright. How many people are around right now?
I mean, it's the middle of the day. It's pretty busy. Maybe like 20 or 30.
Alright.
All generally in states of passing by.
Alright. Have I gotten pretty close to it at this point? Like,
Yeah, you're like right over it.
Alright. Antoria will kneel down next to it.
You do so.
Alright. Carefully removing his dagger.
Uh-huh.
Very carefully will place it on there. Not trying to like stab the rock, which would be pointless anyway, just kind of putting the flat of the blade on it a little bit to see if there's any counter force onto it or if you can actually hold it down on one side.
No, there's counterforce there.
Alright. Hesitantly puts his dagger away and tries to lift the stone.
Give me a strength check.
12.
12. Well, even with that, you give it a firm grip and lift, and sure enough, to your surprise, the entire thing pops up. Underneath, there is the terribly bearded hobo.
Sorry, I didn't realize it was under there.
He crawls out of what appears to be a long vertical shaft that leads down to the ground.
Are you alright?
Gesturing for the stone.
Oh, of course. I'm sorry.
Places it back in place over the hole.
How do you usually get out of that?
Waddles over to his seat next to the door at the champion's trough.
Alright. Troya follows him over. Oh. Does he have his bowl out?
Yes.
Okay. Troya will drop a silver piece in it. Mind waking up a little and talking to me? Puts another silver in with kind of an exasperated air. Oh, don't give me that. You're doing better than you've done in a month in this district, probably. If you want more, you'll have to give me at least something to go on. I assume you know what happened last night. Oh yes, quite the apt description. Don't suppose you saw it happen. Where does that hole you were in go exactly? I see. All over the place. Have you ever seen anyone else down there? Have you ever heard anything else down there? Alright. I see. Interesting. Well, I suppose my 2 silver are up. I don't suppose you found anything else like these around. He holds up one of the obsidian rings from before. Putting in a 4th silver. Says, have you ever seen the ghost active at any other point before? You don't believe in it? Not sure.
You can give me an insight check if you like.
Yeah, I might need some help on that one. Natural 1.
Natural 1. This man has seen the dragon and lived to tell the tale.
You and me both, friend. Kind of shakes his head a little. You've lived here a long time. These more recent murders, these last 2, are they really the same as the ones that have happened before? They don't sound like they are. It sounds like usually the victims had some sort of warning. Are there any other differences that you know in all the time you've been here? So number 5. Oh.
Grabs the 5th silver and chucks it back at your chest.
You're very fair-minded, thank you. Well.
And grabs like his big gnarled bangs and pulls them back so you can see his eyes.
Wait, are you saying you've seen the fires? Or are you just saying that that's usually how it happens? I see. Alright. Well, thank you very much for your time. You did earn this. Keep it this time. Puts the 5th silver back in.
Picks it up, shoves it into his beard.
Listen. Do be careful, alright? Sleep. Interesting. Well, Tori will get up and walk away so that we're out of snoring sound effect range. Now he's thinking of
There's a bug in the code and it follows you wherever you go.
Damn it. Reboot.
You've lost your save file.
No.
You're back in your tire.
Let's see. No. Okay. So it sounds like the ghost is leading people on. The thing that he's trying to figure out now is, okay, what is the connection between our gladiator and our lord? Other than, of course, that they were both mutilated by something purporting to be the ghost, but playing by a different rule set.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking to Dieter would probably help, but it doesn't sound like he's in a state to be too helpful. Although, alright, and Tori will kind of ask around the area and see if he can find out where Dieter lives.
Sure. How would you like to do that?
He will inquire, good question.
This is the point at which Tiger Crush would joke, can I make this an Arcana check?
Yeah. I might go for investigation. That's what
I think investigation is perfect for this.
That's fair. As far as the actual approach he's taking, he'll be very solicitous, and he'll actually kind of mention, hey, I don't want to stir him up too much, but a lot of people, like 2 people have been killed by this thing recently. I'm really trying to put an end to it. he might know something that could help.
Yeah, that's fair.
Alright. That is a 17 plus... 26 total.
That's plenty. Your sincerity wins over more than a couple of folks in the district, and they are more than happy to point you towards the large building where he makes his home.
A large building?
Well, he lives on his own, but he lives in the kind of place where there's like a room for one person, and a room for another person. It's like a big apartment complex, I guess, but it's more like a commune where there's like 100 people across like 80 rooms or something like that.
Okay.
You go in and climb up a couple of stone hallways, and sure enough, you find what appears to be his room.
Excellent. What is the condition of the adjacent rooms?
All of these are occupied. This is the kind of district where everyone has found a place. There's not a whole lot in the way of like abandoned rooms or anything like that.
Is there roof access?
There is. So it's maybe like a 4-story building.
And what floor are we on?
You're on the 2nd floor.
Oh, that's probably too much stupid stone. Wood would have been alright, but not stone. The door's wood or something even lesser, I assume, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Just wood.
Anyone in the hallway at the moment?
Nope.
Alright, I will sneak.
There's a few places that have like their doors like hanging open though.
Oh.
Like propped open so they can chat with passersby or folks of that sort. However, he's at the end of the hallway, so if you wanted to try and hide what you're doing, you could probably get away with it.
Okay, I will go outside his door at the end of the hallway, making sure my back is kind of to all the other doors, which should be possible, it sounds like. And his door as well, because unless it's right up against the edge. I will hide casting Detect Thoughts.
Okay. Give me one of those sleight of hands.
Always have to look this up. 9.
9! Okay.
Alright.
Well, no one cries witch.
Well, that's a promising start. Antoria will start looking for nearby brains in the direction of...
Sure, well, your detective mode outline picks up Dieter's form sort of huddled over on his cot on the other side of the door.
Well, given what he's experienced, it's probably still his surface thoughts probably on repeat like before, so without bothering to ask him, because that would just make him upset, I will go ahead and read his thoughts and see what's on the surface.
Sure, so he's replaying the scene last night where he was in an alleyway of his own, where he'd been cornered by Garn the Gladiator, who was, it seemed like, about to give him a thrashing. Where in mid-punch, basically, the Gladiator stops, and his eyes, like, visibly go from, like, alert and focused and enraged to sort of blank. But at the same time, the color of them turns almost like a blazing red. It almost seems to like animate, almost as if there's like a material texture or something like that on the eye plane or something. And just as suddenly it goes completely quiet, and then about faces and begins to leave the alleyway. Which, Dieter figures like, okay, good, great, I don't know what's happening. But as soon as he leaves the alleyway, this massive form, just a dark silhouette so far as Dieter can tell, but still just a massive, enormous form, just sideswipe Garn and just completely, there's an explosion of blood from the other side. Then Dieter turns and runs. At which point the memory just sort of starts playing over and over and over again.
Right, so now that I'm actually able to see the thing happen, can I make an Arcana check based on the full suite of visual symptoms and
Sure.
audio cues? I'll take it. That's a 20.
No, actually, you're not familiar necessarily with what's going on here.
And I guess an Arcana check to identify the creature?
The creature, unfortunately, there's not quite enough detail. It's large, it's humanoid in some way. It's weirdly asymmetrical, but beyond that, you're not really... Sorry?
Weirdly asymmetrical. In what way?
In the way that, like, certain of its limbs aren't the same size and shape as they are on the other side.
Okay, okay. And it is the same creature that I saw in the first memory as well.
It definitely could be.
Oh, it could be.
Yeah.
Alright. Is there any information information present on why the gladiator was so intent on beating up poor Dieter?
It seemed like he was just looking for someone to bully.
Alright.
As in the way of many bullies, it's probably the case that he had his own chip on his shoulder and he was simply taking it out on someone weak.
Fair enough. Alright, I will pull out of Dieter's mind.
Mm-hmm.
While the spell is active and there's nothing better to do, got probably a few rounds left. Do I sense any other minds in the nearby apartments? I'm thinking these are people who might be people Dieter knows. They might know something by association.
Yeah, that's fair. There's someone in the room directly across the hall.
Alright, I will send my thoughts that way and see what his surface thoughts are saying.
Well, that is a middle-aged woman who has sort of looked after Dieter and is simply sort of worried about him. She's busy doing her laundry. Is there anything in particular you're fishing around for?
I'd have to give her a saving throw to do that.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm not willing
No,
to
I mean, she doesn't know a whole lot
No, she
more.
doesn't sound
I think
like
you
she
probably
does.
know more about the situation than she does.
Yeah.
She's just sort of in a general state of, concern.
Fair enough. Alright. Well, then I will end the spell and begin heading out of the building.
Want. You make it out successfully.
Alright. Now thinking to himself. Interesting symptoms, but like nothing I've ever seen. The thing I have to figure out is what the hell did Lord Soren and this gladiator have in common other than being here? And when I was looking at Dieter's memories the first time, I didn't get the impression. Did I get the impression he knew Lord Soren, other than just having seen him that night?
No.
Okay.
No, Lord Soren was not a familiar figure in this part of town.
All right. Would a gladiator necessarily be a slave? In Urik, is it like a 100% chance or really high chance?
It is in Urik, yes. It is 100% a chance in Urik. There are certain other places where someone might fight as a gladiator, as a freeman or something like that.
Yeah, Marcus has done that on occasion.
Yeah, but in Urik, that's what the gladiators are there for.
So he certainly has someone who owned him.
Yes, absolutely.
Interesting. Investigation check to ask around and find out who that was.
Sure.
That is a 20.
Sure. Well, Garn certainly was known in this part of town, and he was a prize gladiator belonging to a powerful woman from a somewhat minor noble house known as Valaria Ulano.
Of course, I'm familiar with...
I think you've heard of her.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Interesting. This will be a trickier one. I guess it might be a history check and probably not an easy one. What connections do I know of between that house and the house of Antoria's father?
I mean, not much. It's kind of like comparing, what's a good comparison? I don't know. Like, you know how in Greek mythology there's lots of gods, and then there's the 12 Olympians? Valaria Ulano is a big woman on campus now because she's a High Templar. But the Ulanos are like a river god family. That maybe that river was great once, but now they're like a river family. Like the entire reason that they became Templars was because they couldn't cut it as nobles anymore.
Right, because you said before nobles are usually consider themselves above. Being
Yes, absolutely. House Dagon, however, is that what I called it? Yeah, Dagon. Yeah, of course it is. No, Soren Dagon would have been the equivalent of like Apollo or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like maybe he would have screwed the river god, but they're not on the same level as far as like influence goes.
Well, we do know he had at least one mistress. But
Whoa.
Not much of a connection there, unfortunately.
Sure.
And I can't go asking Valeria about her dead gladiator, probably.
Well, I mean, you never know.
I'm pretty sure I might know that one.
Maybe. Maybe you go read her thoughts.
Yeah, I have to be within 30 feet for that. That doesn't seem safe. Alright.
Just turn into a gorilla. Ah, my prize gorilla is here. Guards! Put this one in the garden.
Alright. Well,
Yeah, that's a way better story than what we're doing.
Well, the only other thing I could think of poking into would be the towers outside, but I'm hesitant to even spend a lot of time on it simply because it was so long ago.
Well, you were given another deliberate lead, remember?
That was true. The funeral. I could wait for that.
Well, no, the Temple of the Lion God is where the bodies are being kept before the funeral. You're probably not going to be invited to the funeral.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
That's true. Then I will go ahead and go to the temple. Then I misunderstood what was going on.
No, it's like a religious morgue, basically.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm already kind of in the area.
That's true. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, you make your approach towards...
Yes.
Oh boy, I have to just make sure that this isn't just something that like Manu sketched into the like margins of his homework. What is that place called again? Does everyone remember? That's right, Destiny's Kingdom.
Yeah.
That's the name of Manu's home.
That's Destiny's Kingdom.
An enormous place. Remember, this place is sort of on a gradual hill, so that his palace can look over the entirety of the city. And so you literally have to like climb the hill in order to walk up that way. And that's absolutely deliberate. The majesty of the place cannot even be lost on an outlaw such as yourself. And the Temple of the Lion God is perhaps the most well known to the populace. This is a place where it's basically church. It's the place where people are expected to come and pay homage to the great Lion King that watches over their city. And as such, you have absolutely no problem coming into the great central area where there's marble floors. There's this great golden statue of Homanu in the entryway. And there's lots and lots of attendants, Templars themselves, but not dedicated to justice necessarily, dedicated to the worship of Homanu.
Cool.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Well, having arrived there, I guess Antoria will attempt to figure out where the where bodies are kept while they're waiting for burial.
Yeah. How are you going to go about doing that?
Well, he's in noble clothing. He'll go ahead and just ask a Templar who looks like they're not super busy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Persuasion check, I guess.
Yeah, that's fair. Give me a persuasion.
Okay.
Just make sure you don't like throw up in their face.
Yeah, he will also mention that he should be expected because the Majordomo did say.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I got a 10.
10. Well, a 10 with a waiting invitation is enough to get you directions to the morgue where bodies are being prepared. As with everywhere, there is the area for sort of the more common folk kind of area. Not even like the freeman type area. This is only for like noteworthy freemen that have the money to afford the kind of treatments that this kind of ritual cleansing and proper care and wraps and stuff like that before your funerary rites. And then past that is the much more opulently attended noble area where there's just slabs and slabs of basically just bodies with Templars going back and forth. It's not terribly occupied. There's maybe like 3 or 4 living people in this massive room. And before too long, a small, round Templar in simple white robes with a golden sash over his shoulders approaches nervously. Hello.
Greetings.
What do we owe the pleasure?
I would like to view Lord Solon.
Oh, yes. Pog told us to expect you. Yes. Hello. I'm Novice Gengo. It's pleasure to meet you. Thank you. Yes.
Pleasure.
Yes. Why don't you, please. Basically just waddles to the end of a row. Ooh, it's we've doing our best, but it's not an attractive situation.
And just to help me out, what parts was he missing again?
He was missing his head.
That's the part I wanted to see the most.
And his right arm.
His right arm.
Although oddly, it seems like there are like lumps there to like simulate a human shape, although you can clearly see that they're just like wadded up linens.
Yeah.
Gradually pulls back the top cover to reveal his basically torn apart bod.
Yeah. Toria's seen a lot of shit, though. He's not.
Yeah, no, he's done a lot of shit.
Yeah. Does lose his eye, though. Granted, there's not much there to work with no actual face, but can Antoria see any kind of resemblance to himself in terms of like the build, like maybe the hands or fingers or the hand or fingers, maybe?
I mean, nature or investigation or something like that might be good.
Investigation will be a happy one.
Yeah.
28.
Wow. So Antoria's got kind of a wiry kind of build. Part of that is that he grew up on the streets, but part of it is just he's sort of like limber. You know, it's part of what made you gravitate towards being a thief in the first place.
Yep.
And you definitely can see that kind of like long, powerful hand. You know, literally the one hand because the other one is missing.
I had to correct myself there too.
At least this one seems pretty similar to Soren's. He's got the same kind of build. He's definitely got the same kind of complexion. He's got the same kind of body hair distribution. You know what I mean? Like, I imagine you're both like pretty hairy, like back of the hands, forearms, that sort of thing. Just given like the cultural like influences that Urikari usually have.
Right.
Sort of darker skinned with the, you know, like pale undersides and that kind of thing.
And what did this fellow say his name was? The little guy, if he's still here.
Gingo.
Gingo.
Novice Gingo.
Novice Gingo, may I trouble you with a few questions?
Oh, please. Why I'm here?
Excellent. Who else has been to view Lord Soren?
Oh, certainly Major Domo Pog came by on behalf of the family, but as far as I know, that's been it. I mean, it's truly tragic, truly tragic, but certainly the family will see them at the funeral.
Of course. Such a tragedy. Torn apart so. You have worked here how long?
Oh, years. This is where the line meant for me to be.
Have you ever seen any others torn apart like this?
7.
7?
Yes.
But the others were usually much further apart. Well, if we're believing that it was the ghost that did it, of course. I'm sure.
Oh, in time.
Yes.
I thought you meant the parts they were missing. Far apart.
Antoria affects a slightly severe expression, not like super like scary severe. But
I'm sorry. That's incredibly inappropriate of me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There's a reason that I spend more time with the dead than the living.
Believe it or not, to some degree, I can sympathize. I'm not much of a people person either.
No, it was fun. It was. It's not funny, but it was absurd, specifically to me, because you wouldn't know how far apart they are, because you never find stuff that gets taken.
Interesting. You've never found even one of them.
No. I've been here a long time, and there's always something taken. There's always something different taken. Never find it. If it is a ghost, they have a very complex understanding of anatomy.
What makes you say that?
Ooh. Well, look here.
He looks.
Starts poking at Soren's wounds, basically. It's precise. It's very, very surgical, almost. Violent, absolutely. But they knew exactly how to take the entire thing off cleanly, such that if they wanted an arm, well, they'd have it, instead of just a mess. Gotta know where to hit. Could have been, I don't know. I've seen gladiators do that. Well, usually there's just lots of blood.
Indeed. Tell me, have you ever seen a victim whose head was still intact?
Yeah, I mean, most of them have, well, at least most of their heads.
Have you ever seen or gotten a look at their eyes in particular?
Oh.
I'm sure you've heard the part of the story where their eyes are filled with fire before the ghost takes them. I was wondering if there's any sign of that after death.
Ooh, no.
Looks completely normal then.
Yeah, no, the ghost takes control of them, or so the legend says. I mean, I don't know that Lord Hamana would allow a ghost in his city if he really knew about it. But anyway, the story is just, if the ghost takes you, then you're gonna die. And most people just assume it's the ghost doing the killing. Well, if it's a ghost, why is it chopping off body parts?
I've never quite believed the ghost angle myself. Now, there's clearly something going on, yes, but...
They get the fire in their eyes, they wake up, and they're scared because they know that one day they're gonna die. But when they die, there's not necessarily being possessed. They might just get killed. You know what I mean?
I think so. The fire is just an omen then.
Yeah, like skin rash, where it's like, oh, that person's gonna die of sickness, and it's like, oh, well, they got the skin rash now, but next week they're gonna get coughs, their guts are gonna come out.
But according to what I've heard, this is starting to happen with a much quicker cycle.
Oh yeah, we had another guy just last night.
Well, he's not here, is he? He was a slave.
Well, yeah, he's in the other room, but
Oh, I thought that was Freeman only, sorry.
Well, it is, but I mean, maybe you can tell, but it's kind of fascinating to me. It's just kind of neat, you know? You don't really see a whole lot of, like, interesting stuff. But the idea that, like, there's someone out there that's, like, maybe they're a ghost, and they're, like, I don't know, I'm sorry. It's, like I said, it's completely inappropriate. I should cover this body back up.
Indeed. But can you tell me who the other 7 that you saw were?
No. I mean, I don't know who they are. Most of them are just common folks. I mean, I only know this guy because it's Lord Soren. It's like a celebrity.
Of course.
It's like, what happened there? But no, everyone else is just like, just people, you know? I mean, everyone's special to Hamani.
Do you remember what was taken from each of the other 7?
Yeah, I do.
Could you tell me?
Well, of course. First guy was like, leg.
Just one?
It was a left leg.
Left leg.
And then the second one was a lady, and it was like her right leg. And then there was half giant, and it was like an arm, or most of an arm.
Which arm?
It was a left arm. And then there was a mole, and it was his left arm. And then, I guess, those are the same.
They are, but keep going.
I never really thought about half giants and moles as the same, you know, because they're different. And then there was a thri-kreen, and it was like, it was hard to tell because he was kind of messed up.
How many limbs did he have left?
Half. He had a half.
And they have 6 usually, right?
They have 4 arm type limbs and 2 leg type limbs.
And what might be an important question, did I catch anything like that in the silhouette that I viewed either time?
It was just a mess.
Oh.
I mean, it was a mess of shadow in darkness.
Alright, so some bright green limbs.
Yeah. That said, it's not out of the realm of possibility that whatever it was that you were looking at had more than 2 limbs.
And from what side were the Thrice Queen's limbs taken?
Oh, I mean,
All over?
yeah, bugs are weird. I deal with flesh people. Never thought about it that way.
And now we have we have a stomach.
Oh yeah.
That
We
was
had
most recent.
there was a dwarf that was missing his whole top half. That was weird. But we found his hands. So like that was weird.
Wait, you found his hands separate from him?
Yeah.
But you said you never found the missing parts.
Well, I think
Or do you think they were left intentionally? They were
Maybe-
never intended to be taken.
maybe they had enough hands. You know what I mean? Like if you have too many hands, not enough arms. That's weird, right? You can't just like put like a little hand like attached. That's silly.
Insight check on this fellow.
Uh-huh.
Just making sure he doesn't know.
Is he a
more than-
psychopath?
Well, he's clearly a little off, but I want to make sure he's not really off. If
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, am I talking to the villain? Oh, I don't have advantage on it, but I got an 8. I don't think I get to find out if he's the villain.
I mean, he's kind of weird.
Hell yeah. Alright, and of course Lord Soren lost his head.
Oh, yeah.
What else was taken from Soren? A hand? Another hand, I think it was?
So he was missing his arm from the elbow down on his right side.
Right side. Okay. So Antoria's putting this together in his mind. For the most part, there isn't a lot of obvious overlaps. I mean, it was one of each leg.
Mm-hmm.
Seems to be a body, a head, a fair collection of arms and Thrice Queen limbs and hands.
You know, just some limbs.
You know, just a pile of limbs, but I mean, Thrice Queen have multiple limbs. It's not to say some other creature wouldn't. It's notable that a creature made from this collection of parts would certainly be very asymmetric.
Yeah, that's true. Unless you tried really hard.
Make one more arcane check. Knowing this, is there anything Antoria's ever heard of takes body parts for its own use?
Sure.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. Athos is full of strange monstrosities and evil creatures, but you've never heard of anything that specifically steals these kinds of things. You've heard of things that steal water, or babies, or blood, or the salt right out of your skin, but nothing quite like this.
Okay, well, at least I know I don't have to worry about making any more arcane checks on them, probably, if a 20 didn't really do it. Alright, may I see the gladiator? The
Ooh,
slave?
yeah.
Let's have a look at him. He still had his head, right?
Ooh, yeah. Leads you to a side room where it seems just for his own curiosity, he stashed this body, pulls back the sheets, where in fact, there's Garn, missing his guts and his throat.
Alright, but
Which is to say, like, there's still a skin and vertebrae flap back there, but the...
throat is gone.
Yes.
Okay. No. What's the condition of his eyes?
They're dark purple in color, but they have the gray stillness that the dead usually have.
Okay. And dark purple's a normal color for his race?
Yeah.
Okay. And this is a side room, you said, right?
Yes.
So, like, we're the only two in here.
Yeah, there's a heavy curtain separating you from the main room.
Let's see.
I saw this guy fight half a year ago. It wasn't very good.
He certainly didn't do very good against his final opponent, did he?
No. Give me a investigation check.
Sure. Good at those usually. 23.
So he's like sort of like in that kind of a pose, which seems to be like a general kind of default pose that a lot of these get put in when it's time for them to die.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that he's got something clutched in his right palm.
Let's see. Looking at the novice, what's that there in his palm there? Do you see it?
Ooh, yeah, I saw that. I thought it was like a keepsake or something. You know, I figured, you know, he's dead. Might as well. I mean, it's not worth anything.
Perhaps in his last battle he managed to grasp something of his opponent and bear it away.
Ooh.
Perhaps we should look at it before we
Yeah,
decide.
maybe.
Of course, this is your domain. I should not touch it, but you of
Yeah,
course
you're right. You're right. I'll do it. He pulls out a saw and starts sawing away at his hand.
I'm not one to tell someone else their business, Antoria will just quietly wait. And then he remembers, well, this is a slave. They don't really give a shit about it generally.
A dead slave at that.
A dead slave is just dead meat to them, probably.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, he should not have been a gladiator. See, his bone structure is not very, ugh.
I'll have to take your word for it.
Yeah,
I don't think I've
yeah.
seen many skeletons.
Ooh. Holds up a small obsidian chain link.
Interesting. Have you seen one of these before?
Well, sometimes I think people will use them as good luck charms or wards, against evil, that kind of thing, as protection, but as superstition.
Superstition it may be, but look at this. Victoria reaches in his belongings and pulls out, I assume, an identical looking chain link.
Oh,
I found
yeah.
these where Lord Soren was killed.
What? That's crazy.
Indeed. Have you ever seen or heard of these being associated with this supposed ghost before?
I've never seen him, but I don't always get to see him when they first come in.
Of course. Even you have time away from your duties.
Sure.
May I keep that one?
Oh, sure. You want some of these fingers too?
No,
No, please.
Actually, if you offer, you will actually claim one finger.
Ooh.
Exactly.
All right. You get one gladiator finger.
Yes. I see. Well, I think that concludes my business here today.
Oh, well, thank you for visiting. It was. What was your name?
Ah, of course. My name is Zaji.
Zaji.
Mm-hmm.
Grabs your hand and pumps it far too many times.
Of course.
Yeah. If you ever want to saw off someone else's fingers, then just stop by. You can visit me anytime. I'm always here.
Of course. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Alright. And then Antoria will leave. Still feeling a little uneasy about his encounter with the very enthusiastic ghost fan.
Yes, absolutely. Give me a perception check.
Okay. That is a 16.
16. Okay.
Cool. He will leave, and where could he get a room in this general part of, well, not that part of town, maybe a part of town, I think before he stayed in a merchant's kind of quarters here in the center.
I think you're in the Obsidian District to begin with, right?
Yeah, down here?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's the Artisan District there that you were pointing to, and it's full of inns. You should have no problem getting in there.
Alright, he tries to get a private room for a bit.
Sure, 6 gold.
Wincing a little, but he hands over 6 gold.
All right.
And he will go in his room.
You take up a room with a blue make-a-lot.
I'm definitely not going to sleep yet. Now it's time to see what we can get away with here.
Okay.
This is going to be a little more exciting than the previous attempts. So this is a private room, yes?
You mean shielded from those that might try to observe you doing spell casting?
As shielded as old seamstress's hut apparently was.
Well, if you're only casting 0 level spells, then maybe it's easier to go with hiding them.
Going to first level, that's not too bad. Maybe.
Which one's first level?
Identify and detect magic. What's up?
Oh, no, never mind. I thought you were talking about her.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, go for it.
Alright, so hoping that he is truly not being observed. What's the door like in this room?
Oh, it's solid oak and with a lock. If you want to give me maybe a I mean, any of the standard types to try and like discern whether or not this is properly shielded for your purposes, whether there's any obvious kind of
that seems like a good idea since it's available. What type of check is this? Skill? Investigation? Arcana?
I think Arcana would be fair given that you're a wizard outlaw of some kind.
Okay.
I think this would be sort of a necessary part of casting magic in cities.
Yeah, that's
just.
I don't want to turn out like
Templar proofing the room, basically.
I don't want to turn out like Pleasa.
Yeah.
26.
26. You're able to find any of the obvious sort of faults that the room might have and seal them off with ease.
Excellent.
This is old hat for you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we'll try the direct approach first. Let's make sure I've got these spells available. Sure do. I surely do. Alright, we will try casting Identify on the finger.
Okay.
Now, clearly there's probably not an active spell at this very
No,
level.
but we learn more than active spells from Identify, don't we?
We hope so.
No, we do.
Oh.
We've done this before. I think we tried to cast it on one Mr. Marvant and got some information.
Oh, that's true. I remember that now. Yeah.
So let's review Identify really quick. Identify says you choose one object that you must touch throughout the casting of the spell. If it is a magic item or some other magic imbued object, you learn its properties and how to use them. If you instead touch a creature throughout the casting, you learn what spells, if any, are currently affecting it. If the item was created by a spell, you learn what spell created it. So, there you have it. You don't pick up anything. It appears to be, for all purposes, an ominous but relatively mundane object.
Alright. I will try the chain link next.
Wait, what was the first thing you casted on?
The finger.
Oh, it was the finger, that's right. You get the same results with the chain link.
Mm-hmm. Give them kind of a frustrated look. I feel like I did this before, but this is a different one, so I'll go ahead and try it again. I'll investigate the chain link really closely, trying to figure out if there's any discerning thing about this other than it just being an obsidian chain link.
Sure.
Markings or such. 21.
21. So, this time around, looking over the one that you just got from Garn's Fist, you notice a little symbol that you didn't quite see before, which looks a little like, it's kind of like the Starfleet logo, where it's sort of like a swooping triangle kind of shape with a dot in the center. It's almost like a stylized A.
Stylized A. Do I recognize this symbol?
Give me a history check.
Okay, history. 15.
15. This is an astronomical sign that's used when identifying the movements of stars.
Do I know which one, or just that it is one?
Just that it is. You're not trained in
Yes.
Mrs. Cleo-isms.
Fair enough. Well, yes.
Call now, man. I'm in jail.
I thought you died.
I thought I died, but actually I'm in death jail.
Anyway, alright. Well then. Antoria, I don't think so as well. I have a reason to visit the towers outside now, I suppose. It's a bit more relevant than in visiting decades ago. And with that, I'll go ahead and leave the inn and head outside to the towers.
Okay. You head out the gates leading in.
And where are these towers located?
So they are just to the south of the city. Actually, if you leave by the gates nearest the Obsidian District, they are literally like a 5-minute walk.
Okay. Tromp, 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 tromp.
Tromp, 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 indeed. Let me find some flavor text for you.
Okay.
3 hills rise just beyond the irrigated plain. Here one finds observatories built to study the skies, including the Royal Observatory atop the center hill. This 50-foot tall tower, Homanu's astronomers scrutinize the stars for portents. There's a small guardhouse outside the front. The rightmost of the 3 towers is in worse condition than the others, and in fact you can see as you approach that it appears to be boarded up.
Interesting. While I'm still approaching, I'll look at the other chain links I got. Do I notice any symbols on them now that I know what I'm looking for?
Yes, actually you find other similar astronomical signs.
Interesting. I'll make note of them mentally with the intent of I want to be able to describe or even replicate them for someone else without having to produce the chain.
Yeah, that's fair. No, they're very simple. They're like, they're almost seem like very deliberate kind of lettering kind of thing.
Okay. Let's start.
Like this isn't necessarily what they look like, but it's this kind of thing.
Okay. Well, in that case, I will start not with the. I don't want to start with the royal tower, and I don't want to start with the boarded up tower. I'll start with one of the other normal.
The third tower.
Then. There only is one other. Then. Okay,
Yes.
I'll start with the non-special tower.
Sure. A pair of half-giant guards note your approach and stand further at attention than they had a moment ago.
Greetings.
State your business.
I wish to inquire about matters of the stars.
I don't know anything about the stars.
Well, I don't wish to inquire with you. I wish to inquire with him.
Oh. That makes considerably more sense.
Yes, quite.
On whose authority are you visiting?
My own, I suppose.
Are you a Templar?
No.
Then our business is concluded.
Nobles may not visit.
Can nobles visit? Can nobles visit?
Yes.
Yes. Nobles can visit for the commonly understood fee of 10 gold, which nobles can easily afford, as they are nobles.
I understand you quite commonly, but I thought it was 5 gold. It's 5 more than you're going to get if I walk away.
Yes, I was mistaken. It's 5 gold.
With an exasperated look. Yes, here you are. Enjoy.
The other, thus far silent guard steps up. State your business.
I just paid the fee to him.
Yeah, his fee is 5 gold. My fee also is 5 gold.
You're lucky I'm very interested in the stars.
Well, I've always been quite lucky.
Is that sufficient? May I enter?
I don't know what sufficient means, but you can go on ahead.
Thank you.
They clear the way.
The entire time, Antoria is thinking to himself, Marcus is clearly the brightest member of his race.
Marcus is not surprised.
Well, he is now. He lost that thing. Alright, in we go.
He didn't lose it. It was stolen by elves.
Yeah, I guess it is
Just as all good things are.
I guess it is pretty bad if you're wearing an item that makes you immune to surprise and you still manage to get something stolen from you.
Well, he got pretty drunk.
Yeah, that's true.
He got pretty Marcus drunk, which is really drunk.
Yes. Alright, inside we are. What do we got?
Well, you walk up to the base of the tower, which, to be quite honest, is quite shaped like a wizard's tower, to be quite honest. There's a big double door on the inside and sort of a big stone reception area and a big spiral stair that goes all the way up. And here at the bottom floor is a lot of markings on the walls, probably in chalk or something like that, and a lot of scrolls that seem to be records of some kind, and there's some attendants looking back and forth, and they look up and they're quite surprised at your entrance.
So there was a reception area, right?
I mean, by reception, I just mean like this is where people do their business when they first come in. There's not like a visitor center or anything like that.
Okay.
There's just basically some acolytes.
Alright, that's a question. Are nobles allowed to read?
Yes.
Okay, nobles
Yeah,
are.
absolutely.
Okay, so as long as no one suspects I'm not actually a noble, it's not unusual for me to read things.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. We'll Antoria will affect to look maybe even a little more lost than he is as he's kind of looking around. He'll approach the closest acolyte, who doesn't seem to be super high on the totem pole, so to speak. He's not looking for the master. He's looking
No. So all of these, there's maybe like 4 of them in total, just wearing very plain kind of golden robes. You approach sort of a balding middle-aged man. Looks very, very nervous at your approach.
Worry not. I'm here to ask a few questions about the stars, if that's all right. I come across some astrological symbols, and I'm honestly just curious what they mean. If I were to reproduce them for you, do you think you could tell me?
Oh, certainly. But
What's the matter?
well, I mean, why?
Curiosity. I like to learn things. I've encountered these symbols. I want to know what they are.
Is this a test? Are you going to test us?
In life,
Look, we pull our weight around here.
you seem to be getting the wrong idea. I just want to know what the symbols mean.
For no reason at all, but for your own betterment.
Yes, that is what I told you.
Yeah, that sounds bloody unlikely to me, doesn't it?
Well, why don't you just let me ask you what they are, you tell me what they are, and we find out if it's bloody unlikely or not.
We don't need to find out. You walk in here just asking me information that you don't need to know to go about your daily life just because you feel like learning something. What do you think this is? This is plainly ridiculous. No one just learns things for fun. I don't learn things for fun. I do this to serve the great lion.
As it
I
happens,
don't want to know these things.
Are you quite,
Boys, he's learning for fun.
are you quite finished?
No! Yes.
Have you heard of the murders in town? Stomach ripped out, head ripped off, arm ripped off, that sort of thing. Ringing a bell.
No.
Well, it's been happening. And while those facts are
Would you do it?
No, I didn't do it.
That's good.
While those facts are commonly known, what is not commonly known is that certain astrological symbols were found at the scene. Those are what I want to know the meaning of. Since you seem to insist on knowing everyone's business. There, I've told you. Now you tell me what they mean.
Point of clarification. I didn't say I knew everyone's business. I said I knew what your business was not.
Fair
And as you've shown me, you're actually proving me correct. As you are not simply asking for curiosity, you are asking with a specific intent in mind.
Yes.
To discern information about some supposed murder spree that has been happening in the city, despite the fact that I do not know about it because I live a secluded, ascetic lifestyle.
All right.
Ha!
Yes. Congratulations. Well done.
Quid pro quid.
Yes, quite.
Quite.
Now, if we may.
Now,
The symbols.
right. Symbols. Wow. Well,
Do you have a parchment and something to write with?
oh, sure, yeah. Hands you a piece of chalk, waves at the wall.
Alright, takes a piece of chalk, and he begins sketching, notably out of order. He does not sketching in whatever order he found, which they were broken up chained anyway, I guess they were early in order, but
Yeah.
he starts sketching the symbols that he remembers. Alright, that's all of them, I think.
Yeah, I recognize those.
Excellent, what do they mean?
15 gold
You want 15 gold.
each.
Each.
Yeah. You're asking for specialized training. You can't just go anywhere and get this information. This is the sort of thing that only you can get here at the observatory. Why shouldn't I sell it? I spent a long time learning what these symbols mean.
That's a bit much.
You're a bit much. I could be doing my job right now.
You do realize these are for a murder investigation.
So you say. Truth be told, you can do whatever you want with them. Though I would prefer that you do not murder people with them, because that is against the law.
How would you murder people with damned symbols?
I don't know, but clearly your interests are beyond my understanding.
Oh, sure.
Hopefully your pocketbook is not.
He points to the one that was on the chain the gladiator was holding.
Mm-hmm.
Takes out 15 gold. That one first.
Just counting it, making sure it's all there. Ah, yeah, it's Tithe, the Morning Star.
Very good. Go on.
What do you mean, go on?
What meanings does it usually have when used in art or in literature or when found in...
Art and literature? What are you talking about?
Oh, come off of it. The stars have meanings. That's the whole point.
Oh, certainly, but you have to have them in sequence for them to have any meaning. The thing on its own is just a star. That doesn't make any sense. It's like going like, A. Well, sure, A's a letter. That doesn't have any meaning all on its own, unless maybe you're like drawing it out. But even then, that's like several A's all in a row. Like, ah, like if you're having like an embarrassing moment. Or like, ah, like as if someone was about to murder you in some surreptitious way.
Yes, yes. I see. How many symbols are left?
There are 4 more.
Could I get a bulk discount on the other 4? 40
Sure.
gold. 40 gold for the other 4.
Yes, I suppose so. Certainly 55 more gold than I expected to walk out of here with this morning.
I can see why the half-giants were so confused a noble visited. Alright. You're 40. What do they all mean?
Yeah.
The first one was, what was the name of it?
Tithe.
Tithe, the Morning Star.
Mm-hmm.
And the other 4 then?
That's Peck. And that's Surak. And that's Kel. And that's Lathe.
And do these have any other names such as the Morning Star?
Oh no, Tithe's lucky that way.
Ah,
Awful lot of stars out there. Only one Morning Star.
indeed. So you said that these sometimes have meanings if they're in sequences.
Yeah.
Could you show me an example using these 5?
No.
Why not?
Well. First of all, I should really charge you for more information. But, seeing as the situation is as it is, may as well tell you, you can't get anything with just these 5. It's like gobbledygook. I mean, you could get maybe like a throaty kind of or like as if you were being stabbed in mid-sentence or something. But I don't know, it's peculiar. It's like little bits and pieces out of the alphabet.
I see.
You need the whole thing to really make much sense of it.
I see.
Say, I'll tell you what. I'll give you 15 of this back if you tell me where on earth you've heard of these things. Like I said, this is esoteric knowledge, not the sort of thing you just see sitting around in town.
As it happens, what I told you before was quite accurate, but fishes around, he takes out the collection of links.
Oh,
Look here. And he points out, and Antoria troubles to point out the small symbols.
yeah. I haven't seen one of these in years. Haven't used these in a long time.
Indeed. You recognize this.
Oh, certainly. We used to have an entire display use these things. Sort of like suspended, almost like clothes on a line or something like that. Very kind of antiquated way to look at the stars. Sort of use them to, well, make sentences, portents and omens and such. But, yeah, haven't seen these in quite some time. Been, well, I suppose not since we closed up the old observatory, as a matter of fact. Might still be in there.
What happened to that thing anyway?
Oh, bad business. There was some sort of collapse or something like that. They decided, simply don't need the effort that it would take basically to clean it up. So instead, they just moved everyone over to the other two towers and sealed it up.
I see. Interesting. Of course, I don't have any other links to it, so it's impossible to say what this said. How long ago was that tower sealed up?
10 years so ago?
10 years or so. I've heard that I'm not the first noble who had an interest in the stars. Lord Soren, apparently, in his younger days, used to come here as well.
Oh, I remember him. He was a bit of a dummy, if I may say so. He was enthusiastic, but he never quite understood the higher mysteries of what it is that we do here. The entire reason for astromancy and that sort of thing. He just sort of captivated. I think he was taken in by the fellow that he would always visit with.
Who was that?
Oh, Afton.
Afton.
Oh, he was head astromancer back in the day. Up until the accident, as a matter of fact.
He vanished in the accident?
Well, certainly never found him. Assumed he was crushed.
Memory check me.
Memory check.
Yeah, how far back have these ghost stories been going?
Past few years or something like that. It's certainly a recent phenomenon. It's not something you remember hearing growing up.
Okay, so it's definitely less than 10 years.
Yes, I'd say so.
Alright. I see. Interesting. After the head is...
Deal's deal. Gives you back your 15 gold.
Well, thank you. Well, I think that concludes my business here. Thank you for filling me in on these things.
Sure. You ever got some more gold to burn, feel free to stop by.
There is one other thing I should mention. Lord Soren was one of the two murdered.
It's spooky.
A bit. Well, take care.
Don't get murdered, I suppose. Well, lion's luck go with you. That seems a little bit more all-purpose.
Fair enough.
He goes back to his duties.
And Antoria will go ahead and leave the tower.
The half-giant stop you on the way back.
Yes.
State your business.
I'm leaving.
10 gold.
You're pushing it. I'm leaving.
Yes, you're right. We're sorry. 15 gold.
What spell would I get away with?
You could also, just walk around them.
Oh, is there enough room?
Oh, absolutely.
Kind of takes a sigh, he looks at them both and says, I am investigating a pair of murders. I do not have time for any more of your nonsense. I'm leaving. And he walks past them while they're puzzling that out. Alright. Assuming nothing untoward happens, let's talk about that boarded up tower.
Sure.
Is it guarded?
It is not. Why would it be guarded? It's all boarded up.
I see.
The top third of it or so has been collapsed in for many a year, so far as you can tell.
Interesting. What time of day is it?
It's like 4 o'clock now.
Alright, question, is it common for the gates of Urik to be shut at night?
Absolutely.
But are there places outside that you can pass time? Like road inns or something?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Alright.
Well, hang on. This is Urik we're talking about. There's probably some, outer encampments, but they're not right up near the city gates.
Okay.
Not in the style of, Gulgur Ram or something like that.
How far away is it with the nearest
Half a
one?
day's journey, probably.
Jeez, I can't do that.
Manu is very strict
Yeah,
about everything.
he's a jerk.
What are you talking about? He's great.
Yeah, he's real great. Goes to murdering people in his city. He's just sitting there in his Klondike bar palace. I only mention that because every time I look at it, I'm like, man, it has been a
a long time since I've had a Klondike bar.
What would you do for a Klondike bar?
Right, solve a murder mystery.
Would you conquer your tire?
Well, it was pretty easy last time.
What? No, we got turned back.
Oh.
Oh, wait, do you mean...
For us.
Oh, for you?
Yeah.
Well, you guys are a lot more destructive than Hamanu is.
Shockingly. Alright, Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, how far away is this tower from the other ones? Do I feel like I could just hang out near it until nightfall and no one would be likely to bother me?
Probably not, no. I mean, it's maybe like a 15-minute walk from the one that you were just at on the other side of the Royal Observatory.
Okay, so I probably couldn't pass the time is what you're saying.
No, well, I mean, you could, but it's not as though there's like regular patrols or anything like that. Like you saw, the guards seem mostly concerned with people going in or out of the towers,
Yeah.
which, so far as you can tell, doesn't seem to happen very often.
Yeah.
It looks like the astromancers live at the towers and don't go in or out very often.
Alright. Well, Antoria will wait near the boarded up tower out of sight of the other two towers. Like, I guess if there should be a way where I can be up against the boarded up tower and not in line of sight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright. And he will wait for,
Are you hiding?
if it's possible.
You can give me a survival check or a stealth check.
Ooh, I am better at survival, so let's go with that.
Okay.
Natural 1. I start a campfire.
You climb into a cardboard box.
Okay.
But sure enough, you find a place and settle in and wait. And sure enough, nightfall.
My hiding place is like the front entrance of the Royal Observatory. Like, why is everyone seeing me?
Well, as you pass the time, night falls. You can see the gates close. And the torch lights come on and the guard shift changes over at the other towers. And things continue on as you would expect.
Alright, so it's dark outside now, right?
It's
And
quite
this
dark.
is like, no, there are no street lights in this universe, so dark is pretty dark.
It's pretty dark. There are lights up above. There's a couple of lights up higher in the other two towers.
Okay, but spellcasting activity would be pretty hard to detect visually at this point unless you were pretty close.
Unless you're making a particular show of it, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Excuse me.
Alright, well, the first thing I want to do is summon Tanger back.
Okay.
Cool, and you said that is the top of this tower like exposed and open?
No, it's collapsed in on itself.
Collapsed in on itself,
Mhm.
okay. Well, you still might be able to learn something. I'll send Tanger up to have a look at the
Sure.
whatever he can see flying around it.
Yeah, it's about 100 feet up. It looks as though the top third literally fell in on itself. There's still a couple of big chunks on the ground near you. You're probably hiding sort of on top of one of them. Exactly.
No one will see me.
But it seems to have collapsed in on itself pretty solidly. There's not like an obvious entrance or anything like that up above.
Okay, so you said it's boarded up.
Yes.
Probably no holes big enough for an Antoria. How about holes big enough for a birdie?
You can give me a perception check for one or the both of you.
Okay. Look. Green and blue will be Tanger's. Tanger got a 20, I got a 13.
Okay. You scope out the situation, but it seems pretty sealed up.
I see. Well. Thinky. Well, what is it sealed up with? Like at the bottom, what is it boarded up with?
So by boarded up, it's really much more solidly sealed up with rocks. It looks as though Templars specifically came up and used telekinesis or something like that to put some pretty darn big slabs over not just the entrance, but the big windows leading up the tower as well. It seems good and sealed.
Interesting.
There might be some cracks, like minuscule, like pyramid precision, width between the stones. You know what I mean? Where they're very, very, very finely put together, despite being Bronze Age architecture.
But like an insect might be able to get by.
And an ant might be able to, yeah.
Okay. Well, as it happens, one of the spells I kept prepared was polymorph.
Of course.
It's going to require a slight little
little bit of bending since ant form is not on the list, but I'm willing to accept whatever stats you would say an ant has.
Well, ants are very strong, so I think you can get away with that just fine.
Alright, he will try to hide as best as he can between one of the pieces of rubble and tower, although he's not very confident in his hidey skills these days. And then he will try to hide casting polymorph to turn himself into an ant.
Okay.
I'm outside the city, that should help too, hopefully. I got a 20.
20.
Yep.
Alright.
Alright.
Form of ant.
And then I will try to make my way inside.
Sure.
Which probably takes a little while as an ant.
A little bit. But it's a cool, like, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids kind of, like, mini adventure along the way. Or, like, that Wii game where you play as a spider or a scorpion. Dangerous Creatures or something like
I
that.
remember that one.
Oh, man, it was not amazing, but it was a really cool idea, and I appreciated that they tried to do it.
Alright.
And sure enough, you find an ant-sized tunnel. It's still quite a tight squeeze. It seemed like whoever sealed this up didn't want anyone getting in. And make your way into the small sort of study room here. Now, this place saw some damage when the top area collapsed. And so the spiral stairway that leads up a little ways, but it stops pretty quickly. Like, you can see that, like, maybe a floor and a half up, it just sort of breaks off. But there is enough of a clearing here in the middle where you see that there is actually a vertical shaft in the middle of the floor that leads down.
Interesting. Okay.
Crawling over to the shaft as an ant?
Yes, so still as an ant.
Okay.
And as an ant, I will peer down and try to get some idea of its distance.
Well, as an ant, it seems pretty far.
True.
Yep.
Alright, well...
Many feet.
Do ants have a climb speed?
Absolutely. Hours go by as you climb.
Oh wait, if it's hours, hold on, I can't go that long.
How long does polymorph last?
I have 1 hour total. I'm probably running out even at this point.
Yeah, I'd say you're maybe like half an hour in or so. You think that maybe what happens to your mental stats?
They become the mental I keep my personality, but the mental stats drop
to
the insect form.
Okay, then give me perception, but with like a -3 modifier, I guess.
Okay.
So not with your normal bonus.
Yes. So -3 off of mine or -3 total?
With a -3 total.
Oof. Or ants.
Ant.
10.
10. It's dark, and it's difficult to tell, but you think you might be able to make it all the way down before the spell wears off. That said, you're not sure what's at the bottom.
Okay, let me see if I got... frick, I see. Okay, well since I don't have that spell memorized, apparently it's not safe to do that, so I will go ahead and unpolymorph. And then I will...
Where's Tanger?
I was actually about to get to him. I'm going to dismiss him into a pocket dimension which doesn't have a range, and I will summon him back inside.
Why am I meowing?
Alright. I'll have Tanger go first and see what he sees in this shaft.
So it's maybe 40 feet down. There is a ladder, as a matter of fact, like
okay.
a stone ladder set into the side of the thing.
Okay.
And Tanger can see a very pale kind of red light down at the very bottom. Almost like a forge or something like that.
Alright.
Give me a perception check.
Okay. Both of us?
Yeah.
Alright. Blue green for Tanger. I got a 16, he got a 22.
Tanger spots something in the corner of the room that you hadn't noticed before.
Alright, Antoria will make his way over there.
Sure. So it's basically like a gigantic umbrella that's almost like painted to look like the night sky with various chains of the obsidian links hanging down from various spots.
Interesting. Does it look like one is missing or broken?
It looks like tons of them are broken.
Okay.
It looks like there were maybe hundreds hanging from this thing at one point, and there's plenty sitting around in broken states on the ground.
And they look like the same kind of chain links that I've found.
They're identical.
Identical. I see.
Except for, presumably the astronomical signs inside.
Interesting. Alright. Seems like the right place. But what? Well, going upstairs, the stairs are broke, you said, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can go up the stairs, but you'll just be looking down into the room that you're currently in.
There's no upper floor I can access from here at all, even by flight.
Like the floor right above you was broken in.
Okay.
And then whatever was up above is just rubble at this point.
Alright. Climb me down, I guess.
Okay. As you approach the bottom of the stair, you can hear almost what sounds like an out loud heartbeat. And you can see now that the fiery light seems to be coming from some sort of a source in that room. Perhaps a fireplace or a kiln or something.
But I can hear a heartbeat.
Kind of. If it is a heartbeat, it's kind of a sickly sounding one. Just sort of a...
Let's see. Okay. I will slowly and cautiously continue heading down.
Okay. You enter basically a small foundry-looking kind of room. Looks like maybe it was a storage room at some point, but also serves as a heat source for the general usage of the tower.
Okay.
There are other tunnels, kind of like the one that you just came up, but sealed and apparently jutting off into horizontal directions, almost like sewer grates and that kind of thing. And there's a small kind of living quarters sort of shoved over into the side where there's sort of a stack of rags and a stack of what look like to be scrolls or something like that. Some mess. It looks like maybe someone has been grabbing food out of waste bins or something like that and just keeping a small supply here. And then in the center of the room, there is this awful, macabre laboratory where sitting upon this giant slab is a body. Kind of like the bodies that you saw at the morgue. But this one's messed up in sort of the other way around, where, as you had presumed, someone has been taking the pieces of various things and making a brand new body out of the various parts. You can see that there's a half-giant arm sticking out. And then right beneath that, there's a mole arm sticking out. There's various skin tones and stuff. And sitting atop the thing is what is presumably the eerily familiar face of Soren Dagon. And sitting on the other side of this horrible thing, which is emitting the weird noise as it sits there laboriously breathing, is the hobo with his enormous beard, apparently tinkering around on the exposed brain of whatever this thing is.
And he hasn't noticed me yet, I presume?
If he hasn't reacted.
Antoria kind of watches the scene for a moment. Kind of hard fascination.
How do you catch a ghost?
A good question.
A ghost can go anywhere. Go in, go out, go to some other city, go to some other dimension. Lives in the gray, lives here, does whatever it wants. But ghosts want things. Sometimes they just want to cause mayhem of some kind. Sometimes they want something that's been taken from them. And sometimes they just want to live again. And sometimes they try to do that by moving in, by finding a house they like and setting up shop like a squatter. Well, what do you move into? What do you look for in a house? It's interesting. Do you want a strong house? Do you want a safe house? Do you want a beautiful house? Do you want something that costs a lot of money? I don't know. I live here my entire life. Never thought about having my own house. With this ghost, he seems to have very particular preferences.
Oh.
And so I thought, well, if it likes this, and it likes that, and it likes that, maybe you can give it what it wants, and it'll move in permanently. You can figure out what to do with it once you've got it. Because if a ghost can do all those things for itself, imagine what it can do for you.
I see. But why did you step things up recently?
I am simply a scientist. If there's observable phenomena, then I test it. Which means if the ghost steps things up, I have more data to accumulate. I am simply responding to my environment like any good experiment.
What was the other fellow's name that Lord Soren walked around with?
What?
The head astronomer that vanished.
Ethan.
Ethan, I presume.
Oh. One night, we were looking at the stars, and Ethan and I was arguing, and he was gonna win. But before he did, he stopped. He looked at me with fire in his eyes. And he left. And I didn't see him till the next morning. And that was when I knew, there's something at work here. There's something special. And so I thought, well, maybe if the house wasn't occupied, so to speak, the ghost would be more willing to move in. But alas, that wasn't the case.
But the ghost has used this house you've built it. Yes?
Oh, well, not that I've seen.
I'm sorry to say that I'm pretty sure it has.
I tell you, if you could give me evidence of that, I'd be mighty pleased. After all, that's exactly what I've been aiming to get it to do. Grabs the skull cap of the thing and glues it back on. It's not good for much. Except swatting people.
So wait a minute. Is the ghost not in it right now?
Oh, no. This is just instinct and anger, mostly.
So then when it killed Lord Soren, and when it killed that gladiator, it was not the ghost. It was this thing's instinct and anger.
Well, I pointed it in a direction, looking for more host components, you see. More the merrier. Anyway, I don't suppose you've been haunted since visiting our fair city.
No.
Too bad. Would have been nice to use something of you afterwards. Anyway, goodbye.
Wait, what is he doing?
He's patting the thing on the back as it stands up.
I see. So how close together are they?
I mean, they're right next to each other.
Alright.
They are maybe like 15, 20 feet in front of you.
Toria snaps his fingers and casts Wall of Force,
Okay.
trapping them together. Then he takes his time making a clay doll of our hobo friend. guy screaming.
Hmm.
Why don't you tell me why you had Lord Soren killed?
Oh, it is possessed by the ghost, as I said. I thought I made that perfectly clear.
So you were just speeding things up for the ghost is all, as you said, just getting more data.
Not quite sure I follow. Anyway, I will kill you as soon as I can figure out a way out of here. What is shape is the,
It was a solid cube enclosing both of them together.
Okay.
Then, at the precise moment that he finishes, I assume with ample, since I have 10 minutes, presuming nothing changes, I have plenty of time to make a very accurate
Yeah, I mean, the golem literally, like, throws its body against the thing over and over, just getting angrier and angrier. The former astromancer seems a little perplexed, not quite sure what to do. Didn't quite prepare a spell load to deal with Wall of Force, unfortunately.
Antoria will gesture and cast Scapegoat. He is targeting the little old man. There is no initial saving throw.
There's beard everywhere. There's somehow more beard than there is blood. It splatters the walls of the Wall of Force such that it becomes opaque, impossible to see through.
Well, the Wall of Force technically had to end for this, but Scapegoat has it under control, so
Well.
there's lots of blood everywhere.
Yes. It hits the camera.
Alright. Let's see, let me record the spell usage since that's probably going to be important.
That's fair.
Okay, got enough left to do this proper and right, so that's good.
Turns around to you.
I can release you from this torment. I'm not going to object to you eating your former tormentor. Can you understand me?
Grabs basically like one of his shoulders and like peels it back to reveal someone else's face who I guess has been hanging out there since before they found a Soren to put on top. And there's sort of like a weird little, like, you remember Mars movie, Total Recall.
Yeah.
With Guado. Basically just a little like stump of a man just sort of like under the shoulder. Kill me.
As you wish. The best spell I seem to have for that would be... how many small objects are in the room? Those are laboratory, right? Like full of blades and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. I will cast Animate Objects
Oh
on
no!
a bunch of the blades and sharp objects. And I will direct them specifically to sever as many of the connections between various limbs as possible in their attacks, trying to put this thing out of its misery as quickly as possible.
Oh, man. How many things can you animate at once with that?
We decided to handle it as a swarm of creatures.
Okay.
The swarm in question would be able to deal 48 plus 32 damage in a single attack.
Okay, so basically you've just got like a whirlwind of precise surgical equipment.
Very precise, because I actually want to try and preserve Soren's head and hand if possible.
That's fair. Not like cutting him to ribbons, but like
we're trying to break the
suture,
connections.
just slicing around every suture such that like grimly like each individual person's body parts just flop to the ground as it screams in pain.
And while the whirl is going, Antoria will also cast Dispel Force not Dispel Force, Dispel Magic just at the start of it to try and, if it's possible, release this thing.
Sure.
Or if Remove Curse is better.
I mean, Dispel Magic is pretty darn good.
Do I need to make a check?
You do not, as a matter of fact. The thing basically just falls to bits with one final primal scream of pain.
Alright. And then I order the animated objects to return themselves to precisely where they were. And then...
The perfect crime.
Before we invite...
Tanger backs away from you a little bit.
Before before we invite the yellow cloaks in to have a look around, Antoria will have a look around for any spellcasting goodies with detect magic or any other magical goodies.
Sure.
We have a pet laboratory to go through.
Yes, absolutely. You find, without too much trouble, the spell book that the astromancer was apparently using to commit his monstrosities.
I'm sure that's awesome. How to grow a beard. How to talk mad. Astromancer spellbook, okay.
Yep.
Anything else?
A small collection of the obsidian chain links, a rudimentary map of what appears to be Urik's sewer systems,
Map of sewers.
and a log of what appears to be sightings of folks that rumor says has exhibited the flaming eyes that it suggests that they've been haunted by the ghosts.
Alright.
Most recently being Soren's.
Okay. Cool. Antoria looks around and is like, well, I know everything that happened. I have the evidence. I suppose I should tell the Major Domo, but I don't want to take this stuff out of here. Then again, it's been sealed up. So there's only one exit from this room other than the ladder I came up, right?
No, there's at least a couple of sewer exits.
Oh, I see.
Are you doing anything with Soren's parts?
I did separate them out, yes.
You did.
That's part of what he's trying to puzzle out, is if there's any way he can deliver these without immediately being murder suspect number one.
Sure.
It's nightfall, right?
Yes. It's, maybe like
7 or 8, maybe?
Oh no, it's like 9 or 10 by now.
Oh. Should be just enough, maybe.
I feel obliged to mention that someone pointed out last time we had a session that you could go find the dragon mask and reunite your parents. Margaret would be proud.
Oh, I'm sure he would.
My boy!
I'm sure he would. Alright. So, how solid are these, like, sewer entrances? Like, could they easily be crumbled in on themselves, or...?
I mean, with sufficient force applied, yes.
I see.
But I mean, they're closed right now, but they're not locked.
Okay.
It seems like the sort of thing that one would be able to easily open and close if they were passing in and out of this place into the city.
Okay, could they be locked?
If you had a lock, sure.
Unfortunately, do not. Well...
Squeaky points out that your parents are not children and thus are harder to control.
Thank you, Squeaky. Alright, that's a bit annoying, but I think I know what I unfortunately need to do. I will long rest in this horrible place. So that I can switch spells to have sending as one of my spells.
Very well.
And as soon as I have sending memorized, and also dream, because I want to try dream first.
Okay.
So I've got dream memorized and I've fully rested.
You wake up the next morning.
Tanger was keeping watch for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright, so I will try to cast dream on the major domo.
Okay.
Is he asleep?
No. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning. He probably would have woken
I
up.
thought it would be 6 for a long rest. 8 hours?
8 hours. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Yes, that's fine. It's not quite daybreak and he is still asleep.
Alright, I appear in his dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. I have quite a bit of information for you.
Very well.
I will start at the beginning and go on from there. You'll know what to do by the time I'm done, I'm sure.
Okay.
And Antoria will fill him in, sparing no details other than the fact that he used magic to deal with the problems. He'll specify, it's this fellow who apparently knew Arjun. Never got this fellow's name. He's not kind of in a condition to talk. His creation turned on him, as usually happens, for inexplicable, mysterious reasons. That could have certainly had nothing to do with the way. Antoria's kind of being, kind of how Antoria's being about
Yeah, Antoria subtlety. I got it.
Yeah.
So you're under arrest.
basically, but he does point out that he did actually preserve what remained of Lord Soren's missing pieces if they wish to be restored for the funeral.
Mm-hmm.
He points out that all of this is under the tower that is that collapsed.
and that the Templars should probably be sent to investigate. He tells them exactly what the Templars can expect to find: the laboratory, the remains of the creature, the log, the map of the sewers, which Antoria's not taking the map with him.
Mm-hmm.
The other two things, I think or the logs, or the chain links, he's only taking the spell book.
Okay.
And, he points all this out to the Major Domo and says, do you have any questions?
Lions, mercy. How did you do this?
I'm actually quite talented in the way. The parlor trick I used to communicate with you before is the least of my powers.
Oh.
It was no difficult matter to turn such a mindless creature upon its creator when he wasn't expecting it to be possible.
Well, I'll report the matter to the Templars and make sure that things are cleaned up appropriately. It's good to know that at least there's some kind of an ending to all this.
What troubles you still, other than, of course,
It's
death?
just gruesome, it is.
It is. It is my misfortune that I have seen quite a few things of this nature in my time. One of the problems with being skilled in something like the way is that you seem to be drawn to situations of great danger and trouble.
Yeah, well,
It is strange, however. Don't such things usually run in blood?
how do you mean?
Are you sure Lord Soren had no gift for the way or something else?
Well, I mean, so really quick,
Mm-hmm.
did you share the ghost connection with Major Dormo Pug?
The ghost connection. What specifically do we mean as far as the ghost connection? About the fact that the ghost haunting people is a real thing?
And that supposedly this guy thinks that Soren was haunted and therefore killed him.
Yeah, you would have included that.
Okay. Well, clearly Lord Soren didn't share all of his secrets with me, but being a master of the way is not a terrible thing for a noble to claim. It's not like being a Templar or something like that.
True, but there are certain advantages to keeping it hidden.
Most certainly.
Indeed, I should point out you are the only person in the city who is aware I have any talent for it at all. Would prefer to keep it that way.
Understood.
And I will, of course, continue to abide by my promise of not mentioning the other matter, but may I ask you one other thing unrelated to all of this business?
I suppose you've earned it.
Can you tell me what Lord Soren was like? I never met him, and though I am not speaking of the other matter to anyone else, I have already spoken of it to you, so my reason for wanting to know should be obvious.
Well, everyone liked him. Like everyone. His slaves, people on the street, even his enemies. People liked being with him. It was easy making people laugh, really. Yeah. He was handsome, lean. He was honorable, like a good Urikari should be. He strove to set an example. Family's in the house of his brother now. Won't be quite the same, I expect. Lord Saigon's a different sort.
I see.
Still, my loyalty is to House Stagen. And for this service that you've done, you've earned my friendship, if you'll have it.
I will, even if I can never tell anyone else who I believe my father to be. There is one matter that still troubles me. The ghost. It was haunting people. I saw signs of that through my way. Perhaps this business is not entirely concluded. But the ghost was perfectly capable of killing on its own, and my powers may have no effect on something already beyond the veil.
How do you mean, though? The ghost killing people?
It was apparently possessing them in some way and eventually leading them to death. This fellow was speeding it up, seeking this monstrosity of his on them.
You sure, though?
Is there something, going to the quest log, is there something conflicting with what I said?
Well,
Or is
still using his voice.
Yeah, or is it,
I mean, I don't want to conflate your conclusions necessarily.
Okay.
Like, the data that you have is such that there's not an obvious flaw necessarily in what you're saying potentially being true.
Okay.
But, as Pog suggests, well, folks is getting possessed, and folks is getting murdered.
Yep.
But there's nothing saying necessarily it was a ghost murdering him.
I suppose that's true. It could have been Pog all along. I'm not Pog, no. Yeah, sorry.
How dare you, sir?
The
I am an upstanding individual.
the unnamed fellow.
Actually, you have been told this guy's name.
Oh.
Yeah, you were told the name of the hobo by Bucket.
Oh, what was
Yeah.
his name?
Wick.
Wick.
Yep.
Wick. Perhaps it was just him doing the killing. The ghost was never trying to kill anyone.
Still, though, don't much like the idea of there still being a ghost out there. Not a lot can do about it. Don't like it, though.
Never saw any sign of it in all this.
Fire in the eyes, they say.
Indeed.
Hmm.
I saw it reading the thoughts of witness. It was quite true. It did happen. Or at least that fellow devoutly believes it happens. It would be a wonder if he ever sleeps again, the poor thing. I could do nothing for him. As vast as my powers are, even I cannot rid someone of a memory that strong.
Hey, alright. You know where my lord's his noggin is.
Yes, it's here with me. I'm still below the tower. Believe me, I didn't want to stay here, but I didn't know what else to do. It's not exactly easy to get in and out of here as it is currently.
You do me a favor.
Of course.
Close his eyes.
Of course. Antoria, no, I can't in the dream, but as soon as he will.
Let's meta and say that you can.
Okay,
Just because that's more interesting.
sure. It is done.
Oh, can he just see through your eyes, or?
Oh, you can't see through my. I'm basically Antoria kind of seems to stop moving for almost like he's like a computer locked up because he's unfocusing from the dream state, and he will quietly close the eyes on the.
No.
Oh.
He asked you a question.
Oh, what did he ask me? Sorry.
What color are they?
What color were they?
Well, you've closed them now.
What color were they when I closed them?
You weren't paying attention!
One moment. Blinks out of it. Peek.
They were bright blue.
A bright blue.
Oh, good. Well,
Wait, why did you ask that?
it's back to normal then.
True.
If he was possessed, no long-term, well, aside from getting murdered's pretty long-term. This is macabre.
It is. The gladiator's eyes were also normal. The one who was murdered last evening.
Suppose if a fellow's got no head, Ghost probably doesn't have too much use for him. Well, is there anything else?
No, I think not. I will vacate the premises before the Templars arrive here.
Yeah. I'll talk to him maybe noontime, give you time to clear out.
Of course.
You staying here in the city then?
Not for much longer, I think. I'll probably be leaving soon unless I find something of that ghost, but I don't expect to. Ghost would have no difficulty hiding from me. The mind has a hard time touching the dead.
Yeah. Lion's luck go with you then.
And with you, sir. Good luck with your new master. Alright. Antoria ends the dream state.
Yep.
Well, looks at Tanger. Perhaps it's time to get out of here. So it's 6 o'clock, right? Or close.
Yeah.
Maybe
A little after 6.
A little later. Alright. Well, happily Dimension Door doesn't have any visible spell effects at the destination. You just sort of appear there, right?
I guess so, yeah.
Antoria will Dimension Door into the hiding place he used to cast Polymorph originally.
Okay. I'm on his throne.
No! It's too far anyway. And kind of looks at the city. He's honestly trying to. Oh. Tanger's back with him too. Sorry, well, I could take Tanger with me anyway. Dimension door, let you take a pass.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Maybe there was a reason I didn't specify, but I still.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know magic.
Sorry. So Antoria's looking in the city. He's kind of thinking, the ghost is kind of unfinished business, but maybe there's a way to figure this out ahead of time. Antoria's going to leaf through the spell book that he has real quick. Does he see any spells that seem relevant to this ghost thing? Like a spell that says, hey, you get possessed and have fiery red eyes for the duration and act dumb.
Give me an Arcana check.
Alright. 22.
Believe it or not, no, you don't. You find a fair bit of necromantic type of material, maybe a little bit of conjuration type stuff, but nothing so far as to like take control of someone's mind or make them behave erratically.
Lovely. But there's another element that still hasn't been found. But is it my affair, or do I have better things to be doing? No, damn it, I want to finish it. Antoria kind of seems to pick himself up and head back in towards Urik.
Very well, then we will pick up with that next time. Good game.
Good game. I was really worried there. I didn't have any combat spells ready at all that were, that I think of as main combat spells.
I was wondering what would happen because I knew that was the case. Wall of Force is a good one, and Scapegoat's even better.
No saving throw for that.
Oh my god, Scapegoat is so brutal.
You do have to have time to make a little doll, though. That's the thing that limits it. If it didn't have that restriction, it'd be ridiculous, but...
Well...
Any spell list being correct.
Yes, indeed.
Awesome.
Well, we'll play more of the regular type of Dungeons & Dragons tomorrow. So I'll see you tomorrow.
Indeed.
Good game.
Good game.
Thank you guys. I hope I see you tomorrow as well. I think that's all I got. You got anything?
No.
Cool.
D&D Tuesday.
Yep.
It's coming.
See you tomorrow, everyone. Night.
Later, folks.